Now a quick word from our sponsors today at Extra Gum. If you're like me, you love to chew gum while doing other things. It helps me focus on the task at hand and better transition in between different situations. I'll give you an example. My least favorite thing to do is the dishes in the kitchen. So to help me get through it, I like to pop in some spearmint gum. It honestly makes cleaning my apartment so much easier to get through. When I'm driving in LA traffic, I'm definitely grabbing a berry mix refresher. That's my favorite one because the flavor is so long lasting and it has 3 different berry flavors in one pack. Studies show that chewing gum can help maintain focus and attention, so it's a win-win. Grab yourself a pack of extra refreshers today and tackle the world with fresh and focus and a spring in your step. And now onto the show. I have a Postmates problem. It's not like I'm ordering Sweetgreen. I get Taco Bell and Shake Shack, which is fine in moderation, but I was eating it like all the time. But now I've been cooking. Like I made myself a salad yesterday. It was crazy. Crazy. The bare minimum. The bare minimum. Like, come on, Sabrina. Hi guys, welcome back to this week's episode of Brutally Honest. It's a solo episode. I haven't done a solo episode in a while, I think. I love these. These are my personal favorites. No offense to all my guests. I love having my guests on here, but I also just love talking to you guys vlog style, which is what I'm used to. So I love doing these little solo episodes. This week's episode, we're gonna be talking about living alone, enjoying your own company, how to do so. I'm gonna give you guys my tips and tricks on how I've learned to enjoy my own company because I've been living alone for a little over a year. No, like a year and a half now. It's been a good amount of time. And I feel like I've learned a couple things that I can share with you guys. I'm also gonna call Emma at some point and ask her biggest tip and trick because she lives alone as well. My friends do. So I feel like we've all gathered some information that we can share with you guys. And I'm going to go GQ style and I'm going to share my top 5 favorite things that I am obsessed with at the moment that I can't live without. All right, so let's get into it. So before I get into all of the tips and tricks that I do to enjoy my own company, I'm going to call Emma. I'm going to FaceTime Emma, which is something I've never done before on this show. And I'm going to ask her what she does. What's her biggest tip? Because she also lives alone. So I'm going to ask her. Let's see what she says. See if she answers.
Hi.
Hey, I'm recording. I have a question for you. I'm doing an episode about how to enjoy your own company and be alone and not go nuts. And I wanted to ask you what your biggest advice is. I know you're reading. I knew it. So predictable. She's reading.
I'm reading and I'm annotating. So
is that your tip for the people?
I mean, finding a hobby for yourself to enjoy is important. Whether it's reading or what you like is movies or maybe you're learning your guitar again, whether it's an instrument, just something fun for you to do by yourself.
That was so good. You're so wise.
Thank you so much. I'm technically a 75-year-old man.
It's true. It's true. You want to say hi?
Hey, everyone! Hello! Hey, guys! What up?
You're the star of the show. Thank you for your advice.
Thank you so much.
I'll see you later.
Really honest. I love you. I'll see you later.
Love you. Bye. I mean, honestly, that was really good advice. You do have, I have made it a point over the past couple months to try to pick up hobbies because I just personally think it would be really cool if I was just really good at a bunch of things. And having so much alone time gives me the opportunity to work on that. This is such a specific thing, but I want to get really good at playing pool. I want to be so good at it. And then, I'm playing instruments again. I am a very crafty person. I have a lot of little hobbies that I do on my spare time. Emma reads so much. It's crazy. I've never met anyone that reads that much. She will consume a book in a day and then put it down and pick up another book immediately. It's really wild. I really admire it. On the other hand, I like to watch a lot of movies, which I feel like a lot of people are they have this weird negative viewpoint on people that watch a lot of TV, but I don't care because it's so, I don't know. I think that in the same regard as reading, it's you kind of leaving reality and going into something else for an hour or two, and it's amazing. So now I'm going to get into my top 10 tips and tricks for enjoying your own company. Number 1, and this is very close and dear to my heart, is getting pets. Again, if ask your parents before you bring home like a stray cat. But I love my animals so much. I have become a crazy cat lady. There's a cat tattooed on my bicep. Like, it's really bad. And I started something. I started a movement because now I have 2 cats. Emma has a cat. Our manager has a cat. Emma's getting another cat. It's really bad. It's really bad. And we're all just crazy cat ladies. But I just could go on and on for hours about how special cats are. And I also love dogs. Like, I'm not being, oh, I'm a cat lady, like cats over dogs, because I also have a dog. But cats are just very, in my opinion, very like spiritual and intuitive. And in comparison to a dog, I feel like a dog's always like hyper happy and like just like excited. And cats are very, they're very observant, and they like they can tell when I'm sad. They can tell, like, they know all of my emotions, and it's really weird and crazy, but I'm being so serious. My cats are like they're on top of it with my emotions, which is why having them has been like so helpful to me, because also I cannot imagine walking back home and like walking to my apartment and it being empty. Like, oh, that would be devastating. I can't do that. So if I am living alone, I do need an animal with me because it really helps. I have 2 cats. One of them's like very cuddly, is always on top of me. The other one's kind of more chill. But I talk to my cats all the time. They know what's up. They know everything going on in my life. And they also see everything. So they know things. They've seen it all. And it's really nice because they just listen. They're really good listeners. Their names are Bambi and Simba. I've talked about this before because I don't really understand what my mindset was there, because it sounds like I'm like a Disney adult because of that, but I'm not at all. Like, I'm not like a crazy Disney fan. Like, don't get me wrong, I love like Disney movies, but I think the reason I named Simba is because he's an orange cat and he's so adorable. And he had this big ass forehead when he was a baby. And when I bought him, the breeder like sent me a picture of him, and she was like holding him up with one arm, like the way, you know, that Simba was in The Lion King. And it was really cute. So I named him Simba. And then a friend of mine actually named Bambi for me because I couldn't figure it out. And when he was a kitten, he used to hop around instead of like walk. He would just hop. So he named him Bambi. It's actually crazy. I let someone else name my cat. Now that I'm talking about it, that was a little wild. But it's a cute name. Everyone always thinks he's a girl, though, which is fine. Tip number 2 is having like a good circle of friends that will pick up the phone when you call. For example, the other day I woke up, I was cooking breakfast, I was by myself, and it's nice, at least for me, because I live by myself, Anna lives by herself, and Emma lives by herself. So we're always all kind of a little like lonely, so we'll just call each other. And the other day when I was cooking breakfast, we were on FaceTime for like 2 hours, and it was great. Just because you're alone doesn't mean that you can't, like, you know, there's FaceTime, there's phone calls. Also, Emma has slept over at my house for like 3 nights in a row. So yes, I do live alone, but I'm commonly not alone. I grew up with a big family. I have 3 siblings. It was always very loud and crazy. And now it's very quiet and peaceful, which I don't like. I don't like the peace. I don't like it. So it's took me a long time to get used to it because I'm just used to the complete opposite. And I think I have a lot of friends that like live with their family out here that like are still in the industry, but like happen to live with their mom or their brothers or their sisters. And it's like so wild to me because I see their perspective on it and how like, oh, I kind of want to live by myself. But I'm like, no, I would actually do anything to live with my mom. I would do anything. It does take a long time to get used to when you come from like a big family and then suddenly you're living by yourself and your mom's not like around. Because, okay, I sound like a little baby, but I miss my mom making me meals. I want a home cooked meal. I need to delete Postmates. I need to be banned from Postmates. I'm trying to cook, but it's not working. I do really miss being in high school sometimes, but also like I'm 21 years old and I can't be a big baby about it. You have to keep in mind that like I came from a big family. I lived with my 3 siblings, my mom, my dad, and my grandma. So it's like there was a lot of us. And then I moved out. I didn't go to school. I moved to LA and I joined a content house with like 7 other girls. So then again, now I'm in a sorority, a TikTok sorority, and everyone's very loud. We all have animals. It's a zoo. It's a TikTok sorority zoo. It's crazy. And, you know, anytime I was lonely, I could just walk upstairs and like go to Anna's room. I could walk across the hall and go to Emma's room. Like I just always had accessibility to any of my friends at all times. And I think at the time I was like, damn, I would love my own space. But now I'm like, can we please bring it back? Like, actually, no, I would not. No. I take that back. I don't want to be in a content house anymore. But I do miss living with my friends. It was really fun. It kind of got cut off from me living with people all the time. And then suddenly I was just by myself all the time. And it was very, very hard to get used to. All right, my next tip is your decor and honestly just the space that you are in because it is so important. I've talked about this on my YouTube channel. I don't know if I've ever talked about it on here, but my apartment that I live in, I think energy is so important and it like sounds so corny, cheesy, like I own crystals and I'm talking about energy. Like I know, I get it, but it is so important. And anyone that walks into my apartment, because right now I live in like a 1-bedroom apartment and I don't get a lot of sunlight in there. It's pretty dark all the time. And I just like a lot of really unfortunate things happened in my life while I lived in that apartment. So, you know, I like walk in there and I like turn to the left and I'm like, oh shit, that happened there. And then I turn to the right and I'm what left, right. Wow, I just turned the wrong ways. But anyway, I turn to the left, I'm like, damn. And then I turn to the right and I'm like, huh, yeah, no, that happened over there and that happened over like it sucks and it's the energy in my apartment is very heavy, which is why I'm so excited because I'm moving out in a month and I'm very, very excited. And all my friends are very excited too because my apartment isn't like, it's just dark. It's genuinely dark. Like I don't get sunlight in there. When I moved into my apartment, I already knew I was very frantic and I just needed a place to stay. Like I didn't really have anywhere to go. So I settled with this apartment. But because I knew I didn't like it and I didn't want to be there for over like a year, I never really decorated it and it's very sad in there. But I'm so excited because when I go to my next place, I'm going to decorate it exactly how I want. And at least for me, I want it to look like the basement in That 70s Show. Like that's what I want my apartment to look like. And that's what it would make me so happy. I have a very specific image of what I want my apartment to look like. And I think that, you know, it's your space. Like that's your like safe space and you need to make it comfortable for you, but also it needs to be you, you know? Which is why I think living with other people for so long was a little frustrating because I'm very specific about like what I want my place and my surroundings to look like. And everyone's very different. Like everyone's vibe is very different and living by yourself is awesome because no one can really tell you what to do and you get to do whatever you want. You guys were so mad at me when I moved into this apartment because I didn't do an apartment tour. I didn't do a moving vlog. I didn't do anything. But you gotta understand that I was like, I hate this apartment. And every time I put out something that I don't like, you guys don't like it either. And you guys can tell. So that's why I gatekept my gatekept. Is it gatekept? Really?
I think so.
Is that the correct grammar? I gatekept my apartment from you guys. Tip 4. I personally don't really do this, but I think I've seen my friends do it and I think it's really cute and it honestly I should start, but positive affirmations is very important. Writing, I've seen my friends write shit down on their mirror and it's very clever because, you know, you look at your mirror every day. So you can just read that affirmation and saying things out loud in the beginning of your day is going to set up your day for you. So I need to start doing this. Now that I'm talking about it, I'm really thinking like I should start doing that. But you don't have to write on your mirror. That's a little excessive. You can just grab some Post-it notes and write on those, stick them around your apartment. That would be really cute. Or journaling. You can also just write anything down in a journal. I was journaling last night for the first time in like 6 months. I haven't journaled in so long. And once I started, it just kept going. And I was like 50 pages in. And I was like, damn, I had a lot of things to say. Tip number 5 is books, which we just talked about because Emma loves to read. But it's such a good use of your time because we're always on our phones. And I'm so guilty of this. Like, I'm always on my phone. And it's one of those things where you like swipe out of one app and then go to the other. And then you're like, nothing's here. And then you go back to the app you just swiped out of. It's like, what are we doing? Like, it's very repetitive and it gets very boring. So at that point, just turn your phone off, which is, I'm not like calling you guys out. I do the same thing. But I also understand that reading can get it's difficult to get into it. Like, it's difficult to start reading because it's easier to turn on TV or like go on TikTok. I get that. But also there's audiobooks. You don't have to read with your eyeballs. You could just listen. And once you find a good book, which is what happened to me, because I didn't read for like a year when I first moved here. But then I read, what book was it? I read Verity by Colleen Hoover. And it was just such a good book. And I experienced for like the first time in a while that I could not put the book down. And then after that, I was like, wait, I love this feeling. So I just kept reading more books. And I feel like it's like a thing now, though. I feel like everyone's kind of starting to read again. You guys should dabble in it. Now, a quick word from our sponsors today at Extra Gum. Let's talk about our attention spans. My generation finds it so hard to get off TikTok, turn off our phones, and do something simple. For me, that would be finishing the current book I've been reading. My latest hack for focusing and diving into a good book is popping in a new flavor of extra refreshers. Some studies show that chewing gum can help maintain focus and attention. Also, if you don't want to read alone, or if you live alone like me, just invite a friend over and share a book and a stick of gum with them. So go grab a pack of spearmint or Polar Ice extra refreshers and thank me later. Tip 6, guys, journaling. I love to write. You guys know this. I wrote a whole ass book, which was crazy. But the way I wrote my book is because I started by journaling. And I just had so much to say that I just kept going and going and going. And then eventually my hands started hurting. So I started writing it down in an actual doc. And then eventually I was like, wait, there's like 25 chapters. This is crazy. And then I wrote a book. So there is just like so much locked in everybody's heads. Everybody has something on their mind. And if you can't talk about it and if you can't verbally say something to somebody that you want to say, writing it down is just as good as talking about it because you're releasing it and you're getting it out. And if you let it just like build up in your head, eventually you're going to explode. So journaling's really great because I understand and I'm right there with you guys. There's just some stuff that you can't like say to people. So just write it down. You don't have to keep it. You could burn it. You could write a letter. You could burn it. And you also don't have to journal. Like, get crafty with it, you know? Add some collages. Vision boards are really cool. I've actually never made one, and I want to because manifestation is so real. I talk about it all the time. It is so real. Like, what you put out into the universe is going to come back to you. So, well, isn't that more karma? Yeah, good karma exists, too. Like, I don't know. I was talking about how, like, people think manifestation is only for good things, but that's not true. You can manifest bad things into your life, and karma isn't just a negative thing. You know, there's good karma as well. I haven't done it in a while, but there's something called the 5-minute journal, which you could like get on Amazon, and you literally take 5 minutes out of your morning and your night, and it's like, how are you feeling right now? What do you want to accomplish today? And then what is something you're grateful for? And you do that in the morning, and then at night you go back and you write, this is how my day went, this is what I accomplished, and this is what I'm grateful for. And it's great. There's also prompted journals where it'll give you a prompt and then you go off of that. Because sometimes you're like, well, what do I even write down? But it'll help you. There's a lot of different like journaling exercises that you could do. You just have to look into it because there's so many different kinds. Tip number 7 is structure, which is something that I don't have a lot of. I don't do this. I'm not going to sit here and act like I have a to-do list. I don't. But this is something I should do, and you guys could try as well. We can try it together. But to-do lists are, I feel like, really helpful, and I don't use them enough, and I should because, I mean, planning your day the night before would be extremely helpful for me because, you know, my job is very up in the air, and, like, I never really know what I'm doing until, like, the day before usually. So if I start writing down like, okay, these are the big things that I need to accomplish in the day, and then like all the little things aren't as big of a priority, then I probably wouldn't be as stressed all the time. So I'm going to take my own advice here as well because I don't have a lot of structure in my days, and living alone and being alone a lot doesn't help because then, it's really up to me what I do and like what I spend my time on during the day. So if I were to plan it out a little better, then I could be more intentional. I'm like telling you guys what to do. I actually don't do any of this, but that's just right now. This is actively. I'm going to get into it. Because I do have ADHD and I need structure. I need structure. So whiteboards, guys. I think we should all buy whiteboards. And I actually do have one. It's just really small and I don't use it. But I could like write down the big things that I need to get done. I usually actually write myself little like messages on my whiteboard, going back to it. And my mom does when she comes and visits. She'll like write me like a little inspirational quote. She's a cutie pie. And then I read it. And then the next time she comes, she'll erase it and write a different one. It's really cute. Tip number 8 is to keep your body moving, which is really hard when you live alone. It's crazy because back when I lived with Cooper in our apartment, I was on top of my shit. Like there was somebody there to hold me accountable. And he always like woke me up early and was like, oh my God, what? Am I a toddler? Like what? That's crazy. But he just happened to wake up earlier than me and he would, nudge me and be like, hey, get up, which was helpful. So now that it's on my own time and I have to wake myself up, Jesus, I sound like I'm 8. It's hard. It's hard to get up and like be like, the first thing I want to do with myself is put myself through an hour of torture. Like I get it. I used to work out a lot. I used to work out every morning and I was low-key kind of ripped. It was crazy. Guys, I was kind of jacked, but I'm not anymore. And I don't know. I think there's like so many different forms of exercise you could do. And it doesn't have to be crazy. Like you don't have to go and lift crazy weights and do Pilates. Pilates is hard, bro. Like I need to give it to these Pilates princesses because, oh my God, like stop calling them Pilates princesses, first of all. It is so hard. Because everyone's like, oh, a pink Pilates princess. Like that's what I was under the impression it was. And then I go and I did a class and I was like, I'm going to throw up. This is the hardest thing ever. And I was like an athlete in high school, but that was harder. Pilates was harder. So stop calling them Pilates princesses unless they like it. It's kind of cute. Yeah, there's so many different forms of exercise. Like I like to go cycling. I love cardio. Even just going on walks, you don't have to do anything crazy. Like I've taken up walking because I don't know, I live in Los Angeles and for some reason people here just don't walk. Like and it's confusing because when I go to New York, I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool. This is an hour walk to this coffee shop. Let's do it." But then when I'm here, it's like a 20-minute walk and I'm like, no, I don't know what it is. But for some reason, when I step into Los Angeles, I'm like, I can't walk. So I'm trying to force myself to do that often. And I found this like cool coffee shop, like 15 minutes away from my apartment. And it's really cool because I actually like made myself go and walk there. And they had a coffee called the Sabrina. And I was like, this is meant to be. This is the best day. And I was having a really shitty day and it made me really happy. But yeah, just going on walks. I put music on. I go on a walk. I wish I had a dog to walk, but I don't. But it's just me. Put music on, going on a walk, pop in some gum. I get focused. I get in the zone. And I just like spend time with myself. And it's actually really nice. And just being in nature, being outside, breathing fresh air. It's great. You guys should try it. Walking is very, very, like the hot girl walk shit, it's real. It's real. And it's awesome. And you could also like make it a whole workout. You don't just have to go get coffee. You could walk a lot. Like when people were doing their hot girl walks and like that was like a trend on TikTok, they weren't just like frolicking and getting coffees. They were walking like miles. That's a workout. When I ran track, like walking is just as hard and like as big of a workout as running track. Tip number 9 is meals and snacks and stuff. I have a Postmates problem. I've had a Postmates problem since I moved in. Actually, no. I was cooking for like 3 months and then I was severely depressed and I stopped cooking and I started ordering food. And it constantly just it consisted of pizza, like a lot of pizza for some reason. And it's not like I'm ordering Sweetgreen. Like I get like Taco Bell and Shake Shack, which is fine in moderation, but I was eating it like all the time. And then eventually I don't want to know. Like I literally I think at the end of the year you can like see how much money you've spent on Postmates and I don't want to know. I can't find that out. But I'm trying to force myself to cook now, and it's been interesting because I don't think I'm like the best cook, and I'm trying my best. I will say though, when I was going through a lot last year, and it was kind of interesting because I had just moved into my apartment, and it was the first time I was living alone. I was trying to like figure shit out. I started cooking. I was kind of getting on my roll. And then obviously Cooper passed away, and I was like going through a whole thing. And I just didn't stock my fridge up ever. And at some point it looked like a frat boy lived in my apartment. It was bad. It was really bad. And it was like the go-go squeezes were in there. I had like string cheese and like beer. It was really bad. This is me being brutally honest. Like, it was not good. And actually, like Anna and Emma constantly told me I looked like a frat boy. And I was like, you're right. But now Emma came over the other day. She goes, there's green things in your fridge. And I was like, I know. It's crazy. Crazy. The bare minimum. The bare minimums. Like, come on, Sabrina. This is a lot of progress for me. I haven't ordered Postmates in a while. Point of the story is that it made me feel really good about myself, and it made me feel very accomplished to cook myself a meal and eat it and enjoy it rather than just like ordering. But I mean, I get it, guys. Like, yeah, obviously Shake Shack would taste better and be faster and less messy. But if you put in the effort, it does make me feel very accomplished after I cook. And you kind of have to. You can't. Eating out every day is not good for you. This is something I've had to learn the hard way. Like, it's just not good for you mentally, I think. Tip number 10, guys, is taking yourself on dates, which is something I don't do. I don't know, though. Like, I guess it depends what you consider a date, because I don't, like, actively go to a restaurant by myself and, like, take myself on a date. I mean, I should, but I haven't done that. Or, like, consider, like, the ideal night for me is a Lego set, a glass of wine, and the Kardashians on the TV. Like, that's my Coco Melon. That's my Coco Melon. I'm obsessed with that word lately. I can't stop saying it. Like, everything, I'm like, oh, that's my Coco Melon. I don't know who said that. Was it Mario? It was Mario. Mario said it to me, and I've ate it up. Like, I can't stop saying it. Like, for Emma, hers is like sitting on her couch with a book. Like, that's her Coco Melon. Mine is building a Lego set. That's my Coco Melon. I can't stop saying it. Where did that come from? Yeah, you can take yourself on dates, and it doesn't have to be extravagant or crazy. And if you can't think of anything, think, well, what would I do if I was actually taking someone on a date? And then do it by yourself. Oh my gosh, guys. Actually, I was being so cutesy while I was like talking to somebody, and I bought us a picnic basket. And then that didn't end up working out. So now I just have a picnic basket in my room, and I forgot about it. The other day I was like, what is that? And I opened it, and it's like so cute. There's like cute little plates in it, like a little picnic blanket. And like, it's just the cutest little thing ever. So I think I'm just going to use it by myself. Because that, like going to a park with my cute little picnic basket from my failed situation. But I do keep trying to convince one of my friends to have a baby. I want a child in the friend group. I know they keep saying no, but I just think it would be really cute. Like, I was like, I'll take care of it. I just don't want it to be mine. I'm serious. Like, imagine if we all had a little baby, and then it's like, oh, like, I have an event. Can you take care of the baby? And then I'll take care of the baby. Have y'all ever seen like the pictures of like when, a couple ends up like having a child in like college, and then it's like they're like a little baby, and all the frat bros are like with the little baby. Oh, I love that. It's so cute. I love it, and I keep asking my friends to have a child because, guys, I'm single. I can't contribute here. Like, I'm the only single one, so I'm like, one of you guys please have a child. But they won't. I get it. We're all like 20. Like, I get it. Whatever. But it would be so cute. Also, when I look at pictures of my friends as children, I want to scream and cry. Like, I want to just hold them. So imagine a little one of one of my friends. Oh my God, I want it so bad. That would be my Coco Melon. All right, guys, I'm sure you've seen, or if you haven't, GQ does 10 things celebrities can't live without. So we're going to do 5 things I can't live without in honor of this episode being 100% about me. So these are my 5 things I can't live without in no particular order. First is Diet Coke. I'm trying actually actively to stop because I have a problem, and it started like a year ago and it just hasn't stopped. I'm convinced that Diet Coke runs through my veins at this point instead of like blood. It's so bad. I drink so much Diet Coke and it's really bad for you. Like, this isn't cute. Don't watch this and be like, cute, I want to do it too. Don't. But I love Diet Coke. I don't know what it is. I didn't drink soda growing up, and I think that's what it is because I was just like only allowed to really drink water. And now that I've gotten, like, it's like the can of worms has been opened and I just cannot get enough. And it's not just Diet Coke. Like, if you get me a Taco Bell Pepsi, like, bro, it's crazy. Like, you know how like McDonald's has Sprite and the Sprite tastes different and it's like very niche, but it's like everybody knows that the McDonald's Sprite is better than regular Sprite. Taco Bell Pepsi is crazy. Anyway, I love soda, and every time I go out and I get dinner, I will order a Diet Coke. So yeah, that's one of the things I can't live without currently, but hopefully eventually will be able to live without it because it's not good for me. Second thing is my lip liner. And I honestly have considered like getting my lips blushed because I always have lip liner on. Like, I don't care. Like, I could not have an ounce of makeup on my face, but I need to have lip liner on. And I don't know where it came from. I think it's just because like I grew up and my mom always had dark lip liner around her lips because, you know, we're like, I think that's a very Hispanic thing. I actually don't know, but I'm pretty sure because I remember there was like that Latina makeup trend going on TikTok and everyone was using like dark brown lip liner on their lips. So I think it might be, but I always have like a brown lip liner on. Right now I'm using a Charlotte Tilbury lip liner, but I don't have a specific lip liner. It needs to be like a brown tone and then I'll be happy. As many of you know, I am a YouTuber and I record everything I do. But also, my vlog camera, which is a G7X, takes the best pictures, which I usually walk around with those little like disposable cameras, but they're not very practical because I have to like go get them developed and like, you know, they only take 20 pictures. But my G7X takes really great pictures and I can also vlog on it. So I take that thing everywhere. It's great. It's also very pricey though. So the disposable, I guess, is more practical. I'm going to let you guys in on my little secret because I kind of gatekeep this. I get a lot of PR when it comes to fragrances. Like, I get very, very nice fragrances. And I also love perfume. My mom had a perfume collection growing up and I just was so obsessed with it. And now I have a very large perfume collection. Like, when my friends come over, they're like, like, which one should I pick? Like, I have a lot of perfume. But my favorite one out of all of the perfume that I've collected over the years is from Urban Outfitters. It's so crazy because everyone asks and they're like, oh my God, what are you wearing? Like, why it smells so good? And they're expecting me to be like some like high-end fragrance, but it's literally from Urban Outfitters and it smells so good. And I get so many compliments on it. And everyone always tells me I smell good. And it's from Urban. I don't even, like, it can't be more than $20. Ooh, what's in my bag? Like, literally. I have that, my lip liner, and my perfume. Like, I wasn't kidding. It's Nor Nor Nor. Oh my God, Noir, Noir Distill Eau de Parfum. Yeah, this one, the brown one. It smells so good. When I was writing these down, I wrote gold hoops, but I'm fake because I changed to silver, so clearly I could live without them. I just need some sort of hoops in my ears at all time. I actually filmed a podcast episode the other day and didn't have like earrings in, and I was freaking out because I felt naked. For some reason, I always need hoops in my ears. I honestly think I'm just copying my mother this whole time because I'm looking back and I'm like, why did that start? And it's just because I would see my mom do it and I'm like, I want to do it too. So I always have hoops in my ear, usually bigger than these. Like, I always have pretty big hoops on. Yeah, I'm just describing my mom. Like, the brown liner, like the perfume and the hoops. Like, yeah, that's just my mom. That's crazy. I am her little mini me though. Like, we look so similar. It's crazy. Like if I showed you guys pictures of her as a teenager, it's really insane. Anyway, I love jewelry. I'm a jewelry junkie. I have so much, like my jewelry collection is crazy. Like I always have big necklaces on, big earrings, rings. I love jewelry. So right now I'm a silver girl, but I was a gold girl for like 6 months. So I switch it up. Those are my 5 things I can't live without currently. It'll switch. It'll change. I'm very unpredictable. Okay, guys, that's it for this week's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Hopefully you take something away from this. Honestly, I did. Like, I took something away from this. I'm gonna go home and get a to-do list. Like, actually start writing on my mirror and shit. Like, this was actually very informational for me. Let me know what your favorite tip was. Also, let me know any guests you want me to have on, things you want me to talk about. I read all the comments, I actually do. And I keep telling you guys to do this, but I want to do an episode where I just react to your guys' like stories. Like I want you guys to go in detail, tell me things that have happened to you, and I want to talk about it and react to it and give you guys advice because I think that would be hilarious. And I want all of it. I want the nitty gritty. So do that, please. It'll be fun. I will see you guys next week. Thank you guys so much for being here and listening to me. You can stream this video format on Past Your Bedtime's YouTube channel, and you can listen to it on all streaming platforms. You can find me at Sab Queseda on everything and Sabrina Queseda on YouTube. All right, I'll see you guys next week. Bye.